Guys, Venus is in Sagittarius, and I'm affectionately calling this our sexy French Depression era. Venus in Sagittarius is a really good energy. It's explorative, it's fun, it's flirty, it doesn't take things too seriously.
Your Sagittarius Venus. Venus enters Sagittarius. It is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter expands on everything around them, whether good or bad. Jupiter can also be a bit naive because of its optimistic disposition. It is the planet of abundance and most times prosperity. I think Sagittarius Venuses are hopeless romantics that have unrealistically high expectations, and when they get mildly inconvenienced or disappointed, they completely give up or run away. I don't think they mean to be this way. I also think that they're deep philosophical people who want to understand every crevice or aspect of someone's mind, but that can also be a very consuming love. You will feel incredibly flattered when a Sagittarius Venus is interested in you because they're not interested in you, they're interested in your brain. But they have to learn that you can't have love without trust. And even though you can respect someone's intelligence, you have to be vulnerable sometimes emotionally in order to actually get close to people. It's not always their fault. They might not have learned how to express themselves emotionally as a child. The greatest challenge and success in life will be learning how to express yourself emotionally with people you care about.
Your Venus sign shows how you are in love, and a Sagittarius Venus is that one person you dated in your past that you just can't get out of your mind. This person has a fire burning inside them, and it really fuels their adventurous spirit, but be careful not to blow that fire out. Sagittarius Venuses always have new ideas, new adventures for you guys to go on, new things to explore together, whether it's going to a library and learning about something new, or going on a random trip one Monday for the next 2 weeks. But what this person won't tolerate is mundane conversations, texting all day about nothing. Venus in Sagittarius does not tolerate clinginess, and if you're someone that's naturally clingy, this is probably not the person for you. They're very into their independence, and they want their partner to be the same way as well. This person is looking for someone to inspire them, whether it's emotionally, intellectually, spiritually. They always want to feel like there's, like I said, like a fire inside of them, and they want the person that's closest to them to be able to spark that as well. You can tell when this person likes you because they will literally tell you to your face. They are very direct in communication, and other ways they show love is through gift giving or planning fun trips for you guys to go on together. Comment below your Venus placement.
Dear Venus in Sagittarius, oh gosh, you want a love that grows with you. One that laughs loud, one that learns deeply with you. You do want to be chosen, you just don't want to be contained. I don't think you're afraid of intimacy, you're afraid of boredom or settling for something that you think is going to shrink you. You crave adventure, not just for your body, but for your soul. You want a love that teaches you something. However, you've mistaken emotional distance for independence. You pull away the moment something gets too hard, too real, and then you call it freedom, but it's actually fear. Or you'll say stuff like, I'm just not ready to be tied down. But you're not afraid of commitment. You think that you're going to lose yourself inside of a relationship. So here's the thing. The right love is not going to trap you. It's going to expand you. They will be able to fly and move beside you on their own. You don't have to choose between growth and devotion. You don't have to choose between doing the things that you want and being kind of held down. You have to stop running from the version of you that is ready to be fully met with someone's sovereignty, with someone's self. Love is not about escaping. It's about growing with someone.
I've never seen a Venus sign get this much hate until I went on this app. So let me talk about my experience being a Sagittarius Venus. A lot of people like to really stereotype Sagittarius Venus, saying they will never commit, they lose interest, they like the chase, and they will run away. Let me tell you, this is quite literally the opposite for me in my lifetime. Being a Sagittarius Venus, the one thing I will admit to, it's hard to get my attention on a romantic level. But once you have my attention, I'm going to stick with you, stay with you, through the ups, the downs, the highs, the lows, and I'm going to build a foundation with you. As well, I tend to go for people who are more authentic. don't really put up a mask, and are really down to do some dumb and chaotic ish with me. Sagittarius Venus loves chaos, but it also loves stability and comfort. I see this a lot with Aries Venuses as well. People like to say Aries Venus cheat, which is a stereotype. Aries Venus has the same mentality as Sagittarius Venus, except obviously some aspects really differ. But don't knock these signs until you try it. We make for good lovers.
If you have tied down a Sagittarius Venus, please tell me in your comments what your secret is. This is the ultimate cheat sheet to understanding Sagittarius Venuses. If you're in a relationship with one, if you are one, if your crush is one, your friend, watch this video. If they're in a partnership, they want to feel like they can expand their mind, expand their horizons, grow and explore, travel with their partner. Like, they're not the type of people to sit at home and do the same old thing or routine all the time. They want to share their visions, their dreams, their beliefs, and seek things out with their partner. They are not easy committers by no means. They are big flirts and they love being playful, they love banter, they have an open mind, super flirtatious likely with almost everyone they meet. But something not everyone knows is they have a flip side. They can be really judgmental. They will not put up with the people who dwell on something from the past for a long time. Like, if there is someone who's dwelling about this one last past experience a couple years ago and they're not willing to make a change and move forward, Sagittarius Venus, they're not going to wait around for that. They're like, okay, but can we get over that so we can seek a new thing and open our mind and have a new belief and have faith that things are going to work out? They're more optimistic. They need someone who knows when to move on. Do not force them into commitment. Do philosophize with them. They love romantic adventures, and they likely have spiritual beliefs or are very committed to a specific religion. When love is too complex, they will try and escape. Similar to a Libra Venus, they can be frugal with their spending. Like, if there isn't an opportunity to go on an adventure or do something really exciting and new, they will spend their money. They aren't attached to material possessions, right? They want freedom, so if they can use their money to feel that sense of freedom, they will. They also want freedom in their relationship. They need a sense of independence and they need freedom to express who they are. They want to be challenged with you. If you have a little bit of a competitive dynamic when you go out and do things, I think this can be fun for them. They want to talk about the universe. They want to learn from people who are different than them. They don't want a carbon copy of their same personality. They're best friends with you first, partners with you second.
Venus and Sagittarius. Now this is a fun placement. You probably start a lot of your love affairs adventuring, either on an adventure, seeking out adventure, choosing someone to go on an adventure with, and that's sometimes what can spark the love affair. So in true Sagittarius form, right, if you have this placement, if you have on your birth chart, you have the planet of Venus in the sign of Sagittarius, then you have this placement of Venus in Sagittarius. And what this can mean, right, is like Sagittarius vibes are so fun and so ready to like go do whatever the thing is. And they kind of apply that to every aspect of their life, right? They're kind of like always at the ready. Like they're just always ready. They're the friend that's like, I'll go. Yes, I'll come. You're like, pack your bags, let's go. And they can be that way in love as well, where it's like, let's fucking go. Let's do it. And so finding someone who has not necessarily the same energy level, because that could be a lot, but someone who appreciates the spontaneity and the imaginativeness and seeing you as someone who enjoys, you know, like the spur of the moment things and like the funness of life, and not thinking that it's flaky or immature or like flighty or whatever the things are, right? That maybe you've been told, like, to like focus on one thing or like calm down, or like you can't just go do this or that at the drop of a hat because you're an adult. Someone who's going to actually be like, that sounds really fun. Maybe I wouldn't have thought of that, but yeah, take me along this ride with you. And along with this, right, is the need to keep things interesting. So you may have a hard time finding a partnership as maybe an adult, like let's just, you know, say like doing the adult things, like maybe, you know, starting a family, maybe getting married, maybe settling down. I hate all those terms are silly, but like, you know, finding someone who wants the same things as you. They may be those things, maybe they're not those things, but someone who understands that just like slow, steady doesn't win the race for you necessarily. Someone who's even keel is good to balance out that fire energy, but someone who also sees adventure as part of what they want in life. Like, you don't want no boring relationships, okay? Like, that's just not, no. But also, you know, with Sagittarius, like, because, right, that fire energy can really start, it can get fed and then it can get doused. So just know that, like, the emotions can be very up and down. And so finding a partner who works with you on not necessarily keeping you in the middle, because that's not the vibe, but someone who allows for the ups and downs, but also has that grounding element for you to kind of remind you, like, oh yeah, like, this is baseline, this is foundation, like, this is what I come home to, this is the energy. And then when you're ready to you know, get off and go do something exciting, like, they're right there next to you. And just know nothing is perfect, right? Yourself included, and nothing is going to be perfect. So just know that going into situations, like, even when it feels like it is, or maybe we have a vision of something in our minds of what we think is like the perfect partnership, there's elements of that is true, right? We need to listen to those things that we are thinking about, but just know that there's not ever going to be the most perfect scenario, but there can be a scenario that's pretty perfect for you. You know, you're typically, like, you're probably pretty high spirited, maybe high energy. You might really enjoy, almost like Leo energy, right? You really enjoy being around other people. You enjoy having a large circle of friends. You enjoy including them in a lot of the things that you do. So understanding that, you know, a partner, understanding what you bring to the table and what you would like a partner to come and balance out is really important. So then you can kind of keep your head or your feet on the ground while you're also enjoying all of the fun, exciting things that life has to offer. Let me know if you are this placement and if you would add anything.
I feel like Venus in Sagittarius is so misunderstood. As somebody who has a stellium in Sagittarius and my Venus in Sag is my chart ruler, I have a lot of opinions. It's not that we're non-committal and flaky and, like, scared of commitment. I am so excited about commitment. Like, come on, it's a fucking Venus ruled by Jupiter. Like, we are just as delusional and like hopeless romantics as Pisces are. The difference is that we want this constant thrill. And if you cannot offer excitement consistently throughout the relationship, then you're not meeting our needs. And yeah, like, we'll run in the other direction. But if you, like, meet those needs and keep things fun, we will commit.
Venus in Sagittarius is a really fun placement. Typically, these people don't really have many expectations in terms of what the trajectory of their love life should look like. They're usually pretty open to any type of experiences and opportunities. They're not against dating people who are totally different from them. I would say the only preference that they have is they just do not want to date someone who's going to stifle their independent individual life purpose. What I mean by that is someone with Venus in Sagittarius isn't going to date someone and then give up their goals, give up their, you know, their career if they're really enjoying their career, give up their travel plans, like, just anything that is basically their lifestyle and their routine. They're not going to give their independent pursuits up for anybody. They're not just going to stop living their life for themselves. And that's not a bad thing, in my opinion. So these people aren't really going to sacrifice the things that they were put here on this earth to do. You have to be someone who can fit into that, as opposed to them moving things around for you. These people love to travel. They're really happy having freedom and movement and activity in their relationships. You can't really expect too much traditional romanticism from this placement. They're not really like the mushy Valentine Hallmark type, but that doesn't mean they're not the type to do something in a really big, extreme way, like whisk you off on a vacation. So there's definitely, like, you might not get that every single day from them, that just daily romanticism, whatever, but when it counts, they can really show up and show out. The best way to their heart is literally just be their friend, be their best friend. Don't judge them, don't put expectations on them,
And do not make assumptions. They do not like assumptions. Don't project anything onto them. You have to communicate clearly with them. They are very fiery. They're very passionate. They're very here. They're very there. They can be a little scattered. So you have to be direct and clear with them. And like I said, just be their best friend. Be their partner in crime. Be the Bonnie to their Clyde. Not literally, but yeah.
Loving someone who's Sagittarius is in Venus is going to require you to be real open. Let's get into it. Because yes, the Sagittarius and Venus, yes, they like you, but they also need their space. And this is why a lot of times they often get in those non-committal relationships because, yeah, they want to be with you, but they also need their freedom within a relationship. But you're going to know that they love you because they're going to tell you often. This is going to be something that they're always going to be assuring you and validating you. The ideal partner for a Sagittarius and Venus has to have one of their big three as a fire sign. So you either got to be a Leo, an Aries, or Sagittarius in your sun, moon, and rising. They're attracted to free spirits and well thinkers. They're really sapio, and that is kind of that key that can unlock them a lot of times, is you being able to understand them and be open enough to fully get and feel who they are. They're not about the drama and the negativity. So if you're bringing all of that, if you're bringing too much emotion, if you're bringing too much, they're out of here.